Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be taking a look at Bitcoin. We've had a massive range break to the upside for Bitcoin. This range had been going on for around 220 days, and we talked about ranges not really going on much longer than that, and talked about a range break to the upside that we expected. We expected these lows to hold as everyone was panicking down at these levels. We was tweeting out that we expected major bullish candles for the rest of October. As you can see, guys, this was October the 11th. We was saying that we're very bullish, absolutely the opposite to everybody else in the market at the moment. That was on October the 11th, which was right there at the bottom of that wick on October the 11th, and you can see since then we've had a major move in Bitcoin for around 32% to the upside. So most people missed out on this move because everyone seemed to get bearish on this big bearish candle, and we talked about the complete opposite in the market psychology and how it works and how most people will be wrong-footed in the market. And as you can see now, we've broken out of the range as we've been saying for so long. If you've been watching our videos for a while, you will know that since the bottom at around 15,500, we've been calling for at least a retrace back to these key significant zones, and we're just about nearly there now. And it's easy to say now that the market is going to go there after the big move, but it's not so easy when the market is down at around 15,500 and everyone's calling for 10,000 Bitcoin for the death of Bitcoin. That's exactly what we were saying back in December, late 2022, just saying that we was going to prepare for a massive move to the upside, 5 waves, get to that $42,000 region, altcoins to have a bit of a surge, Bitcoin to take the dominance, and as you can see, we're pretty much there now, and people at this point were saying, oh yeah, fail, people laughing at it. But again, that's just market psychology, market sentiment. The person who I replied to here on this tweet was saying the opposite, so they've blocked me. That's just the way it goes, guys. It's just market psychology 101. And as we begin working our way up through these ranges, up to them $42,000, $44,000, $45,000 regions that we've been targeting since the bottom, people will become ultimately bullish. We will see the bears of the 15,500 days turn bullish, and that is when I do believe a major correction will come into the market. I do think around the 40 psychological level, $42,000, $45,000 region, we will be expecting a major correction, because if you take a look here, we've got these big bullish candles, big breaker candles there that perhaps we expect a bit of a fallback to, and it doesn't mean that it has to happen now. If we was to continue spiking in the market, something like this, get to these levels, then we would expect nice correction of something like this. And of course, you know, when the market returns down to these levels, people will become bearish again, say, yep, we're absolutely just sending it to the downside. And that could be the case, but from the analysis that we've done since 2022 all the way to these levels here at $40,000 for Bitcoin, we're in a massive profitable situation. And just take note about the people who were saying that we're going to go 12, 10,000, and take note of the people that were saying the complete opposite. Of course, nothing is guaranteed in the market, but when you take note of market sentiment and market psychology, things was playing out that we could see and anticipate the market moving in the opposite direction, and it has done now with a range break to the upside. We've seen a major 140% move to the upside from Bitcoin from the lows. Let's just take a look at the percentage gain there. We're talking around a 125-130% gain there, so massive moves for anyone using leverage, massive moves for anyone not using leverage as well, because we're seeing altcoins pop off 100-200%. We're seeing on-chain coins that are absolutely flying. So the opportunity was there, the opportunity presented itself. It was just about, could we take the opportunity, because many people will come in and buy these big bullish candles, and whether it's a good buy or a bad buy, we're never going to be buying big green candles. We will always be buying at market sentiment fear, max fear zones, big red candles, long accumulation phases for the impulses to the upside. And if the wave structure was to transpire like this and we get a nice 5-wave clear move to the upside and a 3-wave correction to the downside, let's take a look at the percentage drawdown on this drop for Bitcoin. We're talking about a major 30% drop, and we've seen this in previous bull markets and bull cycles. 40% drops are very common, so many people will be not used to this and get panicked down at these levels, but we can outline a potential ABC correction happening in the market before the move happens. So as everyone wants to come in and buy these big green candles looking for big 1000% gains, all there is a little tiny move left to the upside before a major correction to the downside, in my opinion. So as the market transpires and as we continue, I do believe for Bitcoin it may be worth taking at least 20-30% profit up at these levels, because once again, as the market moves up, the media comes in and tells everyone to buy. A big correction will inevitably happen in the market. It's not if, it's when the correction happens, and having this big bullish candle here is a sign for us to say this is a potential zone for us to come back to, fill that big bullish candle. So just watch out, don't go in and buy the big green candles. We've been saying about buying the big red candles in the long accumulation phases. This is now a time to prepare to start taking profits. I'm not saying start taking profits now, I'm not saying to do anything because I'm not a financial advisor, but realistically, big green candles come in and get filled before further moves to the upside. Why not take at least a percentage gain up at these levels? The max danger zones for Bitcoin, in my opinion, $40,000 for a nice correction to the downside, and benefit from that correction being psychologically stable, with the benefit of being having that capital available to buy back lower if necessary. So let's take it back to August the 30th, 2022, just before we got that final dip in the market, and see what the analysis is saying and how we could possibly be expecting a new high for Bitcoin. Because if we do get the new high, I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen, but it is a possibility that if we get a new high for Bitcoin, we need to know when to sell and try to catch the top. It's always hard to try and catch the bottom and top. But if we just follow how this is transpiring right now, we got that final dip in the market. Obviously, if you've been watching my analysis, you know by 15,500 the videos we were saying we was expecting that to be the bottom. So not quite going this low, but this was not drawn accurately. And you can see how it's really playing out and really following the line that I've drawn here. If we was to get a major parabolic move going into the end of 2023, 2024, I would be expecting something around $140,000 for Bitcoin. That again from these current levels about a 4-5x. So people again still on the edge of FOMOing back into the market, people possibly thinking about getting back into the market. I think the new money is going to come into the market when the market breaks an all-time high. I still don't think the new money is in the market yet. I think we're still just seeing big players who've bought down at these levels being able to capitalize on these moves to the upside. It is when retail returns to the market and the media pushes Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market and the YouTube views go off the scale and Twitter's absolutely euphoric. That is when we see retail return to the market to get that final push in the market, that final fifth wave. And if it was to follow this, I would expect about $140,000 for Bitcoin between these levels. So latest, I do think possibly June 2024, possibly before that. So just a box there to take note of. If we was to work our way up there, the sentiment would be unbelievable. Every single bear down here would be turning bullish at the break of the all-time high. But we know at that level, there's not really the percentage gain left. Yeah, you could get 100%, but to be in from the lows and capitalize on their major gains to the upside and sell the big bullish candles is what we are here for. However, on the lower time frame, that does not mean we cannot get corrections. Even if we was to get to that $140,000 target for Bitcoin, we will still have 30, 40, even 50% corrections in the market. So I expect in that time the altcoins to lag and then catch up. And you can see how in this scenario we'd potentially get a little mini alt season in this level here around December for Bitcoin, talking about a nice correction, retrace back in the market. If at this point we was to see the altcoins start to send it and really outperform Bitcoin, and a little drop in the dominance in Bitcoin right here, I do believe would be a nice time to start taking a 30-40% profits on them altcoins to possibly buy back lower. Because if Bitcoin drops at this point and we're seeing a bit of a rise in dominance and a drop in dominance, we'd potentially see some higher drops in the altcoins than Bitcoin. So talking about them 50-60% drops in the altcoins, we want to be able to capitalize on them. So taking out a little bit of capital at these levels, if we was to see a mini alt season on that retrace to the upside for Bitcoin, then I do think that would be a nice zone to start taking a little bit out to benefit from those buys, because we know many people are not going to buy down here. They'll be calling for lower, they'll be calling for 12k again. Bears will get euphoric, and then at that point we potentially go for a reversal in the market. So just psychologically thinking about how things could transpire in the market at the minute, how things could work out. I do see that that's the way it's playing out at the minute, guys. We've seen a lot of people get wrong-footed in the market, as always. The mainstream media pushing different narratives, economic uncertainty. But once again, the market structure and Elliott wave reigns supreme in this in this case. So it's good to see the analysis play out. Good to see the range break. Good to see a bit of excitement come back into the market. I'm not seeing FOMO yet from the bears, so it's a good sign. Not really seeing many people entering back in the market, or any family and friends asking about Bitcoin or crypto. So a good sign, but nevertheless, just be watching out for them little short-term corrections. And just taking a quick look at Google Trends here, something we talk about all the time on this channel, Google Trends, to see when people are searching crypto or Bitcoin and searching to see how many people are interested in the market. Have a look at this. Bitcoin's at $30,000. It's just broken 30,000. We're about 34, 35,000. By this time in the last cycle, interest had already risen to about the 50 level and was nearly at the top of the market for interest. So having a look at this level here, we're seeing some clear, what would be seen as hidden bullish divergence if we was looking at it on a normal chart and have a couple of indicators. We're seeing some real bullish developments here without people returning. So I do think if we was to get a spike in the interest over time for crypto this cycle, it would go back to these levels and would be at about that $140,000 level for Bitcoin. So it's easy to talk about these targets now after a big move to the upside, but it's all about making note of who was saying about these targets down at 15,000, 16,000, and which bears are now turning bullish. So again, we are in a bit of our own little echo bubble on Twitter, so it does not give the real sentiment of what's going on in the public and what the general population are seeing. So just taking a look at Google Trends gives us a different view, a different outline on how people are searching on the internet and how many people are interested. So you can see the interest is low. It's a great sign. It's a bullish divergence. We're at absolutely nowhere near the levels we was last cycle at $30,000. We're so low. It's a great sign. Of course, guys, from me, it's not financial advice. I just wanted to make a quick update here on Bitcoin, what I expect on a lower time frame, potential higher time frame targets to the upside for us to be able to benefit from. Of course, any altcoins you want suggesting, just drop them in the comments. I'll cover them, or I'll try to anyway. So sit back, relax, guys. It's not financial advice. Just let the market do the work, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.